gonna take some time to realize. But if you look inside, I'm sure you'll find. Over your shoulder, you know that I told you I'll always be picking you up when you're down. So just turn around.
What is up, my fellow stepbrothers, and welcome to a very special Drake and Josh video. Once again, somebody paid us $100 to review something, and to my great delight, it was the Drake and Josh finale movie, A Drake and Josh Christmas or something like that. Aggie, my stepbrother from another mother, that's right, I'm the Drake to your Josh. What are your thoughts on Drake and Josh before we dive into this movie, Aggie?
Well, you know, it was definitely a staple in my household growing up. Hannah Montana, Sweet Life of Zach and Cody, Drake and Josh. That's what happens when you have zillennial siblings, okay? They're about your age.
Did you have a sister that was watching Hannah Montana? Because in my household, it was viewed as you're either gay or there's something wrong with you. If you're watching shows that have a girl's name in the title, I would have loved to watch Dora. But when I was 6... that would have made me a girl. If I watched a girl show, I can only watch Drake and Josh, Ned's Classified, Zach and Cody. That's So Raven? Fuck no. Do I look like a black woman to you?
Well, That's So Raven got allowed to play in my household, but for one reason, see, I'm almost the oldest in my generation of my family. I have about 15 cousins, multiple siblings, and you know what? We grew up in a certain financial climate where a lot of times a lot of people were living in one house. So because of that, I had everybody was younger than me, and so as they grew up, there was still another one younger than them. So we're always, I was probably watching Dora the Explorer at like 10 years old. I was probably watching Sweet Life at 15 years old. I can't remember exactly the years these aired, but basically, I was watching this stuff up until about 2011. That's when I finally was able to get out of there. Much love to the family, but it is what it is.
Drake and Josh is important to me because I was there from day one. It probably premiered when I was 8 years old, like 2003-ish. I distinctly remember watching the pilot as it premiered. I was there for the entire run of Drake and Josh. Okay, I was there for the really big shrimp, the skit that started them off, and the movie that ended them. I was there for the Peruvian puff pepper. I was there for getting trapped in the treehouse. I was there when, in the later seasons, they started copying Kenan and Kel, and every episode ends in tragedy. Like, legitimately, it's the exact Kenan and Kel format where I think it's like season 4, like towards the end, they said, fuck it, every episode, they do not resolve their problem. Oh, they're trapped in a helicopter? I guess they just jump out and it crashes. They're pulled over on the side of the road. That's how it ends as well. So it was almost like Malcolm in the Middle took over Drake and Josh in a way where life truly became unfair. It's part of the growing pains of growing up, and I had to learn these hard lessons at the age of 11 or 12 watching Drake and Josh. But like I'm saying, this show is for my generation, people exactly my age. We were there for the whole thing. You were slightly older, but it sounds like you enjoyed it anyway.
Well, you see, for me, it was more of, I might have moved away from Drake and Josh in those later years. Once that Sweet Life of Zach and Cody came on, they had that London girl, whatever, that Asian chick, and they had Ashley Tisdale. Yeah. They kept my attention I was probably watching reruns for a couple years. They moved on to something else, but... I guess we were more of a Disney Channel family. We started on Cartoon Network. I was really there up until I was like 12 years old, and I had to pass the torch. We're on Nickelodeon. It was a compromise between kind of fun, but a little family-friendly as well. But then we came into the Disney Channel, and it's like, hey, you know what? I got like 8 younger cousins that are all like 5 to 6 years younger than me, so it's like, hey, all right, I got to take the back seat. I don't get to control the remote anymore. And that's when I logged on to fourthchannel.org, and I joined Anonymous, and here we are today.
I tried to be loyal to Nickelodeon. Okay, they got Ned's Declassified and Drake and Josh. Of course, you're all that's and things that a little before my time. But every now and then, I would sneak over to Disney just for Zach and Cody, because like you're saying, it had the hot chicks in it. Sure, Drake would be dating all these different women, but there's not really like a staple hot female character in Drake and Josh, whereas Zach and Cody and those other... See, that's what we need. You need to have a man's name in the title so that young boys watch it, but still put those hot female characters in.
And actually, talk about that, so what's her name? Annalise. She's like that Dutch chick, the Dutch redhead. You know what?
From what?
from That's So Raven.
I never saw that.
And she was like 23 during the series, so you know what, we hate sickos, but you know, there was no point. You know, no
if
point
I was
in that
watching
series.
this at the age of 8, I'm allowed to say anybody was hot on the show. Okay, like
That's right.
Jesus. It's not like I'm jerking off to it now. But we have not watched this movie yet. This is going to be a nostalgia bomb. I've seen every Drake and Josh dozens of times probably over the course of my very short life. But not this one. The finale movie that came out a full year after the previous finale movie, as far as I recall, the Really Big Shrimp movie, supposed to be the ending. They came back a year later for the Christmas special, and we're now going to watch and review it. So let's see if it holds up, Aggie. Maybe Drake and Josh is complete trash, and my childhood nostalgia goggles are blinding me.
Well, I will say this much. I think probably when my household made the Nickelodeon to Disney shift, I think this was still airing, so I don't believe I've seen even the original finale movie, let alone the finale. So this might be bringing some fresh lore, some fresh knowledge to the table that I have been totally blind to for many, many years, so I'm ready to lock in for a happy, merry Drake and Josh Christmas.
Let's see if sexy Josh can help these orphan children. I think this is around the point where Josh gets hotter than Drake.
Drake, he's looking a little...
That's Josh.
Oh, what?
I told you, Josh got hot. I told you.
I mean, I knew when he was like older, but I didn't know. I thought this... I don't know what years
them
this
older,
is.
yeah. DeLorean. Whoa! They're going Back to the Future on us. Crazy Steve's driving a DeLorean. It's a 10 out of 10 film. Yeah! Yes! Yes!
He threw a very... Oh my...
10 out of 10! 10 out of 10 monkey hijinks. He peed in a child's face! Well, I just finished watching Drake and Josh Christmas for the first time in about 16 years.
And for me, the first time ever.
And I would say it definitely held up. And I imagine most of Drake and Josh is up to this quality. So I'm just going to say it. Drake and Josh, best show of all time based on this movie. It had a monkey pissing in the face of a child. I didn't think Dan Schneider was going to be cooking this hard for a Drake and Josh straight to Nickelodeon movie. But there was some real cinematic feats. Some things I have never seen in a movie before, even though I have seen this movie before. Aggie, what are your opening thoughts on Drake and Josh, Merry Christmas?
Well, I really like something that to me became very apparent during a scene between Drake, Josh, and their sister, who
Megan.
Megan.
She's a demon!
You know, no laugh track due to the fact that it's a film, so... You know, this is really the cinematography. This ain't just
the laugh track was in this room because we were laughing our asses off at that monkey.
That's it. I mean, I guess the most volatile scene in the movie, the most energetic, intense scene. Yes, okay. Not only did the monkey just go to town, blast in that liquid.
You see the piss stream. It's a G-rated film. You see a stream of piss shot out of a monkey's cock into a child's face in the Christmas movie.
He threw a very...
G-rated movie. Child gets pissed on by a chimp.
And he, before that, like, he's going crazy. He's breaking down stuff, and he's punching. There's like a shadow silhouette of the monkey, like, throwing, like, straight punches into, like, the child's face. You can see, like, the hair shaking when the fists are landing, like, in the child's, like, on the child's head, like, with the silhouette. So, I mean, totally brutal beatdown. Now, do we think, based on the fact, this comes into play a little bit later in the film, and earlier on in the film, this man who is inexplicably both a parole officer and a police officer at the same time.
Should we cover the plot of the movie since we just watched it but they don't know it?
Okay, yeah, that's fair. Okay.
So the idea of the movie is Drake and Josh are in legal trouble, and unless they help some orphans have the best Christmas ever, they're going to jail for life. And it's a very convoluted way to set that all up. One of Aggie's heroes from Bum Fights shows up for a bit.
That's right, Kimbo Slice, R.I.P. He's an integral part of the film, and I'm happy that he was.
Yeah, that's just the monkey, and then this guy who Aggie knows from Bum Fights. So many elements I never would have expected are put in this movie, and they work so well, and truly brought joy and tears to my eyes. So that's the plot. They have the parole officer who hates Christmas because when he was a little boy, we get a dramatic flashback of what we've been talking about this whole time. He wanted a monkey. Monkey did some bad things to him. And now he hates Christmas, and he wants to torture Drake and Josh and prevent them from giving these orphans a good Christmas. Just because he hates it, why does he want Drake and Josh to go to prison for life? He's just such an extreme man. It's because he bald very early in life, and it just made him so angry at full heads of hair like Drake and Josh, maybe. Because they're growing out their hair. And even their dad, what was in the water in 2008 that all men were growing their hair out?
I said during the viewing, their father here, he's giving some Brendan Fraser energy. He's got like the Brendan Fraser, the Mummy, or what was that? Like the little waves he had going on, and he's wearing like the button-up shirts. He's kind of got a little bit of Fraseristic look to him. He's kind of got like a little bit like that eye shape that kind of really brings Brendan Fraser's notability forward. But yeah, I don't know, it must have been before social media. People were getting more sunshine, more vitamin D. I think it's good to stimulate your hair. Maybe that's something to do with it.
So they want this parole officer to get off their back, so they go up to a little website called mysweetmonkey.com so that they can get him a nice monkey to fix his soul, change his heart. And Iggy looked it up. Turns out that domain name was available.
That monkey threw a clean, straight right-hand punch, by the way.
Yeah.
Like the whatever mannequin was supposed to be the child. Oh my God, mysweetmonkey.com. Oh my God. MySweetMonkey.com only costs $11
for a year.
Yep.
I got us the best boat in the parade.
Oh, it's actually on sale, $6.49. Oh my goodness, there we are, folks. Domain registration, MySweetMonkey.com for the next 1 year. And I purchased it while we watched the film, so we're now the proud owners of MySweetMonkey.com, and you could type that into your address bar.
Should we tell them what it's going to go to, or should it be a big mystery secret? If you go to MySweetMonkey.com, do it right now. See what pops up.
Yeah, in fact, I'll even tell you, you could pause or cease viewing for a moment, and if you go look, you're going to get a pleasant surprise.
Tell me about this bum fights guy, because Josh originally is the one who gets in trouble with the law, and maybe we should talk about that, because it's complete bullshit. If I'm Dan Schneider, and I know Act 1 of my 3-act movie, they need to get in legal trouble so that there's an excuse for the plot to happen. The legal trouble is that they're at some sort of Christmas concert where Drake is performing, and then a bunch of blacks and Mexicans come in and just start dumping the table of food. What the fuck?
Now, was that just coincidentally the first time I happened to see some people of color in this film? They just had backwards baseball caps on,
And do-rag on.
doing property damage.
Dan Schneider keeps a realism to his films. Which,
They're wearing they got hoodies up and they got backwards baseball caps on. You're watching the crowd, and it's all blonde white women being like, I love Drake, he's got the best music. And all of a sudden, it's out of nowhere, Josh's like, oh, we're gonna have some snacks. He looks over, and there's a bunch of Hispanic and African American men in baseball caps and hoodies just flipping tables over for no reason.
yeah, in the documentary Quiet on Set, they tried to accuse Dan Schneider of being a little racist, and what does he make the black kids do and all that. And he kept that spirit alive in this movie. The one black kid, if there's a line about a drive-by shooting, it's going to go to that kid, anything like that.
And you shot up our house.
Now, it ain't the first time that happened, but either way.
That's how I became an orphan. But Josh is in jail because he observed other people trashing the party, and then when the cops show up, they just put handcuffs on him, and then he gets pushed over a 10-foot ledge and then falls into the back of a truck. Just ridiculous, stupid. If I'm Dan Schneider, I would have thought of a more logical way to get Josh in trouble. Maybe he actually commits a crime by mistake, but the way it's just set up, it doesn't make any sense. They're just arresting him willy-nilly, and he didn't do anything.
They just have a straight up, maybe it's because he lost the weight. They said, hey, that's not the American way. But he's in the back of this pickup truck, which is swerving, has a dozen cop cars with the signs behind it. Starts driving over the sidewalk and everything. Mm-hmm. And then he they swerve and they like hit like a bump or something, and it makes them fly out of the bed of the truck. They don't continue to pursue this reckless, dangerous truck that's driving and gonna get somebody killed. Every single car, not a single squad car, not a single officer gets out on the foot or anything. They completely cease the chase of this truck just because they only wanted Josh, even though he did nothing whatsoever.
It's
and
not
if
like
he did, he flipped a table at like his own party, basically.
Yeah, there wasn't even a crime in the first place. Like, I don't know if crashing a party is necessarily illegal.
I gotta say, this is real authentic Kino over here. I can't even lie. Driving over the sidewalk.
Why are they so unconcerned about the cop car?
Oh my god.
He's gonna get killed? But, yeah, they take Josh, throw him in jail, and his cellmate is this big buff
Kimbo
guy.
Slice. That's right.
That means they were
Oh my
innocent.
god, is that Kimbo Slice?
Is it?
It is.
You know him?
Yeah.
What's he from?
He was like the ultimate. Well, they started off with bum fights, and he won like all of them. And then they
Dan Schneider got a famous bum
Well, he might have been going professional around this time. He's dead now, but.
because Josh.
No,
is about to
actually,
kill him?
you know, to be honest, when this was filmed, he was probably in the he did like backyard wrestling. Basically, the story is that he was a known street fighter, but he was like basically a homeless guy, and then on bum fights, like when they first started, he was could really beat bums really good. I mean, he was knocking them out cold left and right. So
Was he a bum or they had him fight bums?
I think he was homeless. I think he'd been like in and out of prison or whatever, but he was out, like, you know how they in the hood, you go work out in the jungle gym, like you go to the bars and do your push-ups, pull-ups, and kind of get your calisthenics workout in. But he was so good at bum fighting that they started giving him some like amateur like backyard wrestling kind of fights that had like set up rings in the backyards and stuff. And he's kept going viral because he just had such incredible forward striking power. And then they eventually, I think, they signed him to some UFC or some kind of boxing or something. But unfortunately, you know, the fact that he was already kind of, in his 30s? So I think he was in his 30s. And he had never really actually done like the professional fighting training. He was just really good at like street fights. And so when they took him to the league, so to speak, he did not perform with this incredible like viral ability like he had in the streets. So it didn't really go super far for him, and then I think he kind of just fell back into some of his old habits and passed
Started
away.
getting cast in Drake and Josh movies instead.
Long live Kimbo Slice. We're glad that this scene was filmed to honor his memory.
And then Drake comes along because he made this Christmas promise to an 8-year-old fangirl.
In the same scene where Drake is playing the mall Santa because Josh is not fat enough anymore. He lost the weight, so that's their reasoning. He runs away in terror because an overweight woman wants to kiss him.
True,
and
yes.
that is so repulsive that he literally just like leaps out of the Santa set and just like starts running through, like, oh my god, somebody help me, somebody save me, no!
And this movie was, of course, written and produced by Dan Schneider, a very fat man, especially in 2008. So for even him to recognize the absurdity and disgustingness of a fat woman and to put it in the film, and to have Drake, who's making out with an attractive woman of his size, and then the next lady in line is a big fat woman. Of course, Drake the Santa has to run away in terror while she chases him through the entire mall and running around the tree out front. It's just what happens when a fat woman gets horny. And again, I'm glad that this was put in this children's movie. He's teaching the 7-year-olds at home what stereotypes to look out for.
That's right.
The horny fat woman. The black orphan who knows about street violence.
I want to know what that last girl was getting.
All right.
Oh.
Hey, that's the girl from All That, isn't it?
So Dan Schneider's writing a script where Drake gets molested? Really?
I'm not done with you, Santa!
I think this is the portly, or if it's not, it looks an awful lot like the woman from All That, but...
He looked like Brian Peck.
Help! It's a fat person! Somebody help!
That is literally what is happening. That is literally the
My
joke.
Christmas is ruined. There's fat people and they're ugly.
An unattractive person wanted to kiss me. Yeah, the whole movie, the parole officer is just giving them $400 tickets for reckless driving or public nakedness because he paid somebody else to strip them naked. He's very annoying, so Drake and Josh say, hey, let's go get Megan. Megan! She's a demon! It's spherical! Maybe I should have played Josh. I think I got that Josh energy in me waiting to pop out. It's spherical! But Megan, and I'm just going to say it here, the iCarly actors are much better in Drake and Josh than they are in iCarly. Crazy Steve's a better character than Spencer. And Carly Shay is not even a character. Complete blank slate, so all the 10-year-old girls at home can plug themselves in and pretend that they're an internet celebrity. It's bullshit. Megan is an actual antagonist. She actually has personality. She has goals. Carly,
she has a moped with
fuck that
nitrous.
shit.
She stunts on these chads. They say, hey, what's up, babe? Look at my nice car. And she hits that nitro switch, and they can't even race her in a full car. She's blowing them up in dust and smoke.
So they enlist Megan to help distract the parole officer. She takes the chips out of their ankle monitors, puts it in a helicopter to distract them. But when she finds out they lied about getting her an oboe, she's not going to help them anymore. And I feel like there should have been a bigger Megan prank. One of the staples of the show is their bitter rivalry against Megan, and she always wins in the day because she's technologically savvy and an evil genius. And all she really does is put the chips back in while they're sleeping and then throw, a stun grenade at them.
Yeah, I mean, they could have taken, because this was basically right on a 90-minute runtime, right? Was it 97 minutes, maybe? We have the cutaways to explain that the parents, they're shown leaving. I think is the first thing you see in the film. They go to this Jamaican resort, which is like a total place of trash. The guy who's like their tour guide has to literally break into the place, the hut they're staying in, which gets blown away in some kind of hurricane storm. And then they're sitting out there on the beach dying for a little bit. But if we could take that time to give that, 3 to 5 minutes of showing what the parents are up to, getting them included. We really do not get much from Megan here in this film outside of that scene where she's controlling the helicopter and everything, which is fine, but I think, definitely we could have got at least one more notable Megan scene in the film.
One big final Megan prank, because this is the end of the series. It's the final movie. You might as well go bigger than ever, but no. She throws a grenade, gets pissed, and yells. Maybe she was busy filming iCarly and could only be in the movie a little bit, but I feel like Crazy Steve is in this more than Megan.
Absolutely.
Like a lot more.
Crazy Steve, the parole officer. I mean, to be honest, I think Kimbo Slice has a competitive screen presence compared to
more dialogue for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. He even shows up at the end. But ultimately, the way that they deal with him is they go talk to his mom, find out his tragic backstory about the monkey. They get him a nice sweetness guaranteed monkey from mysweetmonkey.com. Go check it out yourselves, folks. Real piece of cinema history right here for you to uncover. And the monkey changes his life.
Oh, wait a minute. That monkey looks familiar from the My Sweet Monkey article.
He's afraid now. I guess he would be after what happened. Is he about to get attacked again?
Confronting his abuser. That's right, that is Cookie.
MySweetMonkey.com, it's on the certificate! Oh my god, most beautiful Christmas movie I've ever seen. If I was going to do a monkey box review of this, there's very little of the monkey, but god, it's a dense monkey inclusion. Just every single second he's on frame, he is at the peak of hijinks, pissing in the face of a child, knocking down the Christmas tree, punching him straight in the face in his silhouette. And then, of course, we have the sweetness of the younger monkey later in his life. So you get dangerous, crazy monkey. You get beautiful, cute, funny monkey. It's a lot of monkeys. I'm giving the hijinks. It's got to be a 10 out of 10. I've never seen a monkey piss in the face of a child in any of these. Dunstan checks in. He probably pissed in the old man's face, but certainly not in the child's face. 10 out of 10 performance. 9 out of 10. I could have seen a little bit more emotion from the cute monkey. I'm just going to say, 9 out of 10 is pretty good.
Yeah, sometimes when you've been in that abusive relationship, sometimes you need somebody who's just coming in more muted. That's not an excuse for the performance from Cookie the chimp, but, that might have been what Perry, the British detective, it's what he needed to really
And he said he was
calm
not
himself.
British, actually.
But it sounds British, and he talks about eating crumpets and wieners. Drake says he really can't let that go in their first meeting. He kind of stretches that joke a little bit.
And as far as overall movie quality, I was leaning towards a 5 out of 10, but as soon as the monkey stuff started, it got elevated to a 6, which I think gives it a final score of 25 out of 30. It's almost certainly in the top 3 monkey movies of all time. But since the monkey's not the main character, it's not getting a monkey box review. That's kind of the deal. But as a side piece monkey, shockingly, Merry Christmas, Drake and Josh is a top-tier monkey movie, and I can't believe I'm saying that. Is that why he paid us to review this? Because there's a fucking great monkey in it. He knows what I like.
Wrapped it up in the Christmas gift package, and here comes the pissing monkey.
Any other points from this movie we should cover, Aggie? Because I think we got all the most important things so far.
Well, I was going to say, I might play the devil's advocate. I had this point I wanted to make about how the parole officer treats them, because I think just preceding this scene, it's all, a suspiciously fast trial, but I'm not going to let that break my immersion. But they're showing up. This is a federal, which also doesn't make any sense. They're saying it's a federal institution, which is also just wouldn't make any sense. But a federal prison break. He's on the grounds, and when he's breaking through his bricks, he has like 10 officers with guns drawn right to his face.
Drake Bell comes to break Josh out of prison, and he cuts a stone out of it, and then they get caught.
Oh my goodness!
Oh my god! They're both fucked.
And so their whole premise being, well, as long as you keep your Christmas promise it's interesting because he's not a prosecutor, but he's a parole officer, so he gets to work with the terms of the parole with the judge. Anyways, the fact that he hates Christmas so much, he's just witnessed something that's a 40 to 50 year prison sentence off the rip, this maybe 30 with a plea deal or something for a first offense, but this is something that is nationwide news, a federal prison break. And well, you know what, if you love Christmas and this guy hates Christmas, I think that he probably got tilted. It's something he hates. He's seeing a total miscarriage of justice at the highest levels, just in order to facilitate something that he already loathes, as it were. So maybe he just really couldn't see the forest for the trees, because he does really have such a character reversal when he receives the monkey. Maybe he just needed a sweet chimp from mysweetmonkey.com all along.
Well, yeah, he had a cold heart, and the chimp's warmth melted it, and he became a new man. I thought it was a beautiful message. And really, the story of changing the heart of the parole officer is, I think, the heart of the whole movie. You would think it would be giving these orphans a great Christmas, but they fail completely. Every single thing they try, they want to get a tree, we can't for some reason. They don't even explain why. Instead, we're just going to get a lawn chair and put lights on it, and then it's not going to light up and explode. We're going to make it snow by putting chunks of ice in a wood chipper. I don't know why they thought that would make snow, and obviously it just shoots out chunks of ice and destroys all the glass in the neighborhood. That was also very tense, and I didn't think they would go that violent with the ending. Kind of a big set piece of all of these cars and homes being shot with fucking ice. Does ice make snow?
Hey.
I don't generally think that wood chippers run that fine, but maybe they do. I guess I won't try and fact check them here that much. Let's see what the consistency looks like.
Hail?
Just shreds of sharp ice just hitting children in the face.
That's what it would be. The wood doesn't come out of the chipper as...
well, okay, that looks about right, to be honest.
No, that's not snow.
That's just chunks of ice hitting. Yeah, they are going to hit children in the face.
Seemed pretty obvious to me. Oops.
Well, to be honest, those orphans think they deserve better.
Destroy the whole neighborhood.
There's a little something called slice of humble pie, folks. Oh, you orphans, you think you're so high and mighty? Well, Drake and Josh are here. And I did want to just point out, obviously I wish that the foster system was, this happy place that it's semi-portrayed to be. Realistically, I hear that's not so much the case, but these orphaned children get the grand reveal that, something that they're not supposed to know, but they end up getting this grand reveal, spoiler, that Drake's parole conditions, Jake and Josh, their parole conditions hinge on, giving them this great Christmas, and that they would all need to feel that it was the best Christmas ever.
This is a great betrayal. When the orphans find out they're only being helped to prevent going to prison, they say, fuck this, fuck Drake and Josh, we're leaving. We're going to tell them that it's a bad Christmas. Go to jail for life. We're not thankful at all for the things you've done so far. Now that we know your motive is to not spend your life in prison, we're pissed for some reason. Yeah. You would think orphans would not have such a high standard for people caring for them.
I was like, you know what? Maybe a little humility. If we're
these orphans need to be.
Drake is known at this point. That's the whole thing, that he gets recognized by the orphan girl when he's being Santa. She recognizes what his eyes look like because she's such a Drake fan. And there's these twin orphan girls that are part of the foster family who are equally obsessed. So this guy's known. He's got some credibility. He's got this entertainment know-how, and he's got some success. So the fact that he's not in the studio, he's just was performing this concert to hundreds of people, but he's really just going through the motions here to give you the best Christmas ever, the best that he can. And oh my goodness, it's just not good enough for you orphans. Oh well, I guess not having parents was good enough for you at one point. So oh well. Anyway, but it's all resolved in the end. And
I do think that's a bit of a plot hole. Like, Drake is canonically famous. Like, the orphan, when she meets him, says, "I have your CD." He is selling CDs. He's performing live shows in front of hundreds of people. But then one of the main plots of the movie is we have no money. We're broke. We had $3,000, but we gave it to a fake lawyer. Now we have zero money. We have all these tickets that the cop's giving us. What the fuck? He's famous. Where's the CD money?
He must have gotten a bad deal. It was a fake lawyer that he probably put on a mustache, and he's fake record label CEO too. And
he's 24 years old, living in his parents' attic still. He has no bills. Why is he not fucking rich if he's a famous musician? Where's the money? I don't know. But, Dan Schneider, he has a lot to answer for about this movie.
That's right. Specifically and uniquely.
And nothing else. I think, he's pretty much good in every other aspect of his life. I just think he fucked up this movie a little bit with the plot holes. Otherwise, 10 out of 10, standing ovation for that.
If they're
man.
so broke, their parents are going on this international luxurious vacation instead of spending Christmas. Maybe it's one of those child star situations. The parents got a sweet deal going on. Maybe he's still working his way out of the contract. Who knows, folks? We can't really say for sure, but at least, it all wraps up nightly, just like a glittery Christmas gift bow. When Kimbo Slice is dressed in the Santa suit, comes down the chimney with presents, gets stuck, and just blows the entire chimney out of the wall. The original pissing chimp is coming back.
My guess is it's Crazy Steve or Josh's dad.
I'll take Crazy Steve over. But he shouldn't be that fat, though.
Because Crazy Steve should be at the party already.
Oh, it's Kimbo Slice!
Oh
my God!
Yes.
He's got his iced out chain on.
Rest in peace, my brother.
I think a running theme here between the destruction of the foster parents' home and the destruction of Drake and Josh's parents' home is that, hey, somebody else's insurance is paying for this, so who cares? It's nothing to worry about, but maybe that's my middle-aged perspective on looking at this TVG children's movie. It is what it is.
So if I'm giving this 3 out of 5 on Letterboxd, Aggie, where are you landing?
I mean, I have to say, despite some of the holes in the writing, I think that the direction and the cinematography, there was really no lacking here. They definitely brought out the movie budget for this. They took
big police chases,
the sitcom premise, and they really made it happen for a film, and it's really got everything it needs to come together. I think 3 out of 5 is very healthy because, it's not overall oh my goodness, I was in love with it, but it was good and it had some great scenes. So I think, if you're a real Drake and Josh head, maybe you give it a 3.5. But I think 3 is a very agreeable score out of 5. Now, I also like that they chose this, I guess, to be the finale. I know there was a previous finale movie, but there's just something about... There's been animes I've watched before where this is like the ending OVA. It's got a nice, relatable, kind of cheery element to it. Overall, you don't need to force some kind of resolution of this or that sort between two characters. Or now it's definitely all over because this happened. I think that it's just a nice, pleasant way to kind of wrap up whatever, actual ending and then just kind of send it off on this nice little holiday cruise that you can just enjoy and relate to on a basic level. I think that was a good call to end the series.
And a good call to end this video just might be... Hug me, brother!